Shabbat Shalom from Ramot Yerushalayim. There's a valuable lesson to be learned from Parashat Mikeitz and in general from the sale of Yosef and the saga of his relationship with him and his brothers. On the one hand, we have two characters, Yehuda and Yosef, one of whom seems to succeed at every obstacle that he encounters, and the other seems to fail, sometimes even with similar obstacles. Yosef encounters an obstacle where the wife of Potiphar tries to seduce him. On the other hand, Yehuda encounters a similar obstacle where Tamar tries to seduce him. Yosef succeeds in standing up to that test and avoiding such failures, while Yehuda does not. We have Yosef himself, who is the victim of a sale, and Yehuda, the primary instigator of such sale. It seems like everywhere we look, Yehuda fails and Yosef succeeds. And yet we find that the culmination of this narrative, various roles are assigned to different shvatim. For example, Yisachar is the one who spearheads Talmud Torah. Zevulun is the one who is assigned the task of business and finance. You would have expected that the assignment of the melucha, the kingship, the royalty, the leadership, should have been assigned to Yosef, someone who succeeds at every obstacle he encounters, someone who actually had some experience when it comes to being a king. After all, he was the viceroy in Egypt. And yet we find that ultimately Yehuda is the one who is tasked with leadership. Why is that? What was Yaakov thinking in assigning him that role? The answer is, and this is an idea that we learned from Rabbi Soloveitchik, is that Yehuda, while he experiences several failures over the course of this narrative, he also seems to get up from those failures and ultimately succeed and take responsibility for such failures and succeed where he previously failed. Yes, he sinned with Tamar, but ultimately he took responsibility for that sin. He owned up to it. When it came to Yosef, yes, he was the primary instigator of the sale. He should not have done that. But yet we find in this week's parasha, Mikeitz, him standing up for his other brother, the other son of Rachel, Binyamin. When Yosef requests that Binyamin be sent to Mitzrayim, and Yaakov is reluctant to send him, it's Yehuda who says, I will be the arev, I will be the co-signer, the one who takes full responsibility for Binyamin's welfare. Many of us make mistakes throughout the course of our lives. There are so many obstacles that we encounter, and yes, sometimes we fail at them. However, it's not always the failures that are the points of focus. It's how we get up from those failures. People are fallible. People make mistakes. If we have leadership with the likes of a Yosef HaTzadik, and he was a tzaddik, it's hard for people to connect to that kind of leadership because most of us experience failure. Most of us can't succeed at every turn like a Yosef HaTzadik. But for those of us who do fail, and when we fail, it's important that we have a leader like a Yehuda who's experienced failure, knows failure, but also knows how to pave the way for the future by getting up from that failure and succeeding in similar instances and circumstances where they've previously failed. I wish all of us the ability to learn from prior mistakes, to hopefully succeed where we may have struggled in the past, and together we can build a better future for ourselves, our families, communities, and all of Klal Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom.